You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't
want
know
it to be one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
What's good? What's good?
They hate when you elevate.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Claymore. This is the ATP Combat Media Show. Welcome to the show. To all my subscribers, salute. Really appreciate you guys' support. Is more than you could know. I appreciate it, man. And if it's your first time coming to the channel, man, I invite you to go ahead and feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can get all the alerts of when I'm dropping this content. And on that note, let's get the show rolling. So 2 days have gone by from Day of Reckoning. And if you watch my old video, you'll see how impressed I was with the event. I think Saudi is really on to something right now. I think His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, I believe is his name. I believe he's doing a great thing out there, and I'm in full support of what I'm seeing going on out there. I hope that Saudi spreads that into other divisions outside of the heavyweight division, in particular right now the lightweight division, hint, and the super lightweight division too. Why not? But really in all the divisions. Let's, welterweight division. There's fights that we want to see that are not happening here stateside because of politics and money and things of that nature. And I really believe that an influence like Saudi could really make 2024 a very exciting year for real boxing fans who truly want to see the best fight the best, to help these promotional companies cross promote and allow their fighters to fight each other, so we, being the fans, get to win. That being said, this topic right here is going to be something that I've honestly wanted to address for the longest time, but it just never seemed like the right time to do it, because if I were to address it any other time, it'd probably have been looked upon as hate, and it'll probably right now presently still be looked at that. But at the end of the day, no time like the present. So Deontay Wilder, what we saw the other night with Deontay Wilder going over to Saudi Arabia and watching him basically get shut out 12 rounds to none. I believe 2 of the judges might have found a round for him somewhere. I don't know what rounds they were. I don't think I need to be enlightened to what rounds they were, because honestly, on my personal scorecard, I did not see him winning any rounds. And I really don't believe real boxing fans saw that match, saw what was happening, and what was shocked at the result based on what was happening. And let me go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit, just so you guys can get the angle, right? We all know that Deontay Wilder is a knockout artist. He's going to apply that pressure. Usually he'll feel it out with a jab, you know what I mean? And that right hand comes like a laser beam, straight shot, fast, explosive, probably one of the hardest punches, if not the hardest punch in heavyweight boxing or in boxing in general today, and he will knock out an opponent. That's what I believe everybody expected to see from Deontay Wilder. But what did we see from Deontay Wilder on Saturday afternoon? What we saw was a Deontay Wilder who decided that he was approaching boxing now. He was going to become this boxer. He was moving around the ring a lot. He looked like he was pawing at the jab and trying to set up or bait in Joseph Parker into running into something, right? So that he didn't have to do the work maybe, or maybe he just wanted to prove that he was a boxer. I don't know exactly what the whole entire point of that performance was. All I can say is, too late. It's too late. 38 years old. 38 years old is too late. Changing your game in the 9th inning to decide, Mike Tyson, I think I'm probably going to quote this like every single other episode. I'll do it every other episode probably. Mike Tyson said it. I'm sure he quoted it from a man wiser than himself, but I don't know who that was. I heard it from Tyson, so I'm always going to give him the credit for this line. Make sure you dance with who brought you to the party. make sure you dance with who brought you to the party. What does that mean? That means what got you to the big show, what made you who you are, what is signature of you should be what you use in the biggest show of your life. Why change it in the ninth inning? Why get to the biggest stage, the biggest platform that you've ever been on, probably making more money than you've ever made, and at that moment decide to go in another direction and do something that you've never done before? What sense does that make? Really confusing to me. And, at the same time, I have to hold his coach, best friend in the world, brother from another mother, right? Malik Scott. What are you thinking about? What are you telling him? I'm looking at Deontay sitting in the corner. There was one point, I believe it was around the 8th or the 9th round, where Malik Scott actually asked Deontay Wilder, do you feel blessed? Do you still believe that you're blessed? I'm like, what is he talking about? Then it comes to my mind, and I'm thinking, and it's like everything's coming to me like that Usual Suspects movie. When it's Kaiser Sose and Kevin Spacey. If you guys ever seen the movie Usual Suspects, it's about this criminal mastermind named Kaiser Sose that nobody can't get their hands on, and they collected the usual suspects, right? These 5 criminals, and Kevin Spacey looks like the guy who's like kind of like handicapped, and he looks so innocent, and you don't want to do nothing to him, and they're questioning him because they think he's weak, and they're trying to get the information out of him. So Kevin Spacey's describing the story of different encounters he had and how he really never seen Kaiser Sose, but these are the closest encounters he had. And at the end of the movie, you find out that Kevin Spacey's actually Kaiser Sose. The guy looks around the room when Kevin Spacey leaves the interrogating room, and he starts looking around, and he sees a name on a poster, then he sees something on a coffee cup, then he sees something on a piece of paper, and he's just connecting all the dots of what Kevin Spacey's been telling him all the time, just to find out, like, yo, that's the guy we're looking for. He's been lying to me this whole time. The trick is on me. And that's how I felt when I saw Deontay in the ring. I said, the trick is on us. I'm talking about Deontay's been on this ayahuasca trip. He's sitting there crying next to Malik. Malik's crying next to him. They're hugging each other and holding each other at the press conference. If you guys want to go look at the tape of him at the the Robert Helenius fight, just all in his emotions about how people don't understand what fighters are going through, and he just really was letting us know in so many ways that Deontay Wilder's no longer motivated or into this sport anymore. He's no longer interested in committing acts of violence. He's no longer interested in catching a body anymore. You know what I mean? And somehow, some way, Malik Scott changed this whole man's boxing technique. I'm not saying, I don't even know if I should say that, because he really's never been a boxer, but his whole entire strategy on how he fights, he's changed it to where Deontay Wilder has lost his killer instinct. And it just made me think, it's not that I don't respect where Deontay's coming from. It's that, brother, all the time you had to learn how to box, if you really were interested in boxing, this is not the time to do it. This is something you should have done when you were like 21, 22. You already started late at that time, but at least if you would have started then, by now, you'd have more of an educated jab. You'd have so many different variables and different tools that you could pick from that could translate into something that would have made Saturday more competitive. This is what happens when you don't evolve as a boxer. When you're not working on boxing, when you get used to your one-trick pony energy, and all of a sudden at the end you try to learn something that you've never learned before, that you never even valued before, and then you end up embarrassing yourself. And boxing, as Bernard Hopkins once said, exposes you. And that's what happened Saturday. Boxing exposed Deontay Wilder. I go back to when he let go of Mark Breland, which was one of the most foolish things I think Deontay Wilder could have ever done. But he let go of this man, and Mark Breland had an interview where he spoke about how this man was untrainable. This is what Mark Breland said. He said he's coming to the gym 3 to 4 hours late. He can't get this man to hit a speed bag. He can't get this man to do road work. He can't get this man to do more than 2 to 3 rounds of sparring before he doesn't want to do it anymore. You know, and just leaving boxing alone to just invest all his time into his one thing that he has. And now in the 9th inning deciding that, you know what, I want to become a boxer. It was disrespectful to the sport. It was lightweight disrespectful to the country that you were coming from, US. And you know, you really disrespected US boxing, really looked like an amateur out there. Looked like you didn't even belong in the ring with Joseph Parker, because it was just amateur night at the Apollo in that ring that night. And casual fans, this is what I'm talking about. This is why the best need to fight the best. This is why we need to push the fighters we love to fight the best fights out there. If Deontay Wilder would have had more looks, more professional fights, and this man sat, and then when I mean by professional fights, I mean fighters with actual generational talent, skill sets that would give him issues, that would force him to evolve. This is what happens. You know, not to bring up, you know, dead bones, but with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, this is what happened in that match, in my opinion. Errol Spence is a very skilled boxer, but he spent a very long time winning one way. He was never forced to evolve. And a lot of these fighters, unless they're forced to evolve, they will not evolve. You have a handful of fighters that are always working and trying to get better, but most of these fighters are only as good as their last fight. They're only as good as their last fight. And what was Deontay Wilder's last fight? A knockout inside of 3 minutes of the first round. He got no rounds in, no opportunity to work a jab, no opportunity to work foot movement or footwork. No opportunity to get better, to go back to the gym and have video to go back to and say, that was good what we did here. This is what we need to work on for the next match. And then Malik Scott, as a trainer, which I am not familiar with the history of this man's training. I don't know who he's trained. I doubt he's ever trained a heavyweight champion, a top 3 heavyweight champion. And Deontay put all his whole career in this man's hands. And it just makes me feel like, you know, I was on a panel a little bit early this evening, and I was having a conversation with an actual coach, an actual trainer in boxing from out of Philadelphia, who was explaining to me, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes fighters are just lazy, right? They'll pick somebody, a friend or something like that, to train them, somebody who they can dictate how the training camp is going to go, when the training camp is going to go, how they're going to eat, how they're going to train, what they're not going to do, what they are going to do. And they take over the whole entire show, and they think they know everything. And Deontay Wilder was one of those boxers. Somebody who really came in the game thinking he knows everything, you know, telling the coach what he's going to do, what he's not going to do. That's not how it works. The coach is there to train the fighter. The coach and the fighter are supposed to have a certain kind of relationship, and it's not supposed to be brotherly love. Like Deontay said, the relationship he had with Malik Scott. It's supposed to be coach and trainer. Excuse me, it's supposed to be trainer and fighter. You know, and obviously that's not the relationship that him and Malik have, where Malik is like, hey, champ, tell me what you want to do, and I'm going to work around what you want to do. What are you guys talking about? On what planet does that work? Look at Ryan Garcia right now, literally going, you know, Devin Haney, his peers, Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, these guys have gone miles ahead of him in skill set. Why? Because they listening to their coaches, they're training to get better. What's Ryan doing? You know, think about how many coaches Ryan Garcia has been through, as far as Eddie Reynoso, right? John Gruden. Think about that. Now with Derek James. And what are these other coaches saying? Man, you don't train Ryan Garcia. You just go with the flow. What does that mean? Eddie Reynoso just straight walked away from the whole entire situation. Why? Because you're popular? Because people like you? Because you're knocking out people? So now you know everything? Yeah, boxing will expose you, like Bernard Hopkins said. Boxing will expose you. When you get in the top game, when you're here at the top 3 to 5, oh yeah, you're going to get exposed. You're either going to be the goods or you're going to get shown what you really are. And I believe that's what we saw Saturday night. But definitely was wanted to address it because you have a lot of casual fans today. Really a lot of casual fans. And I'm trying to really impress you guys. Stop being a fan of fighters and start being a fan of boxing. You know what I mean? The best way you can support a boxer is by being a fan of boxing. Because if you support boxing, then you will hold them to a standard. You will hold them to a boxing standard that will force these fighters to evolve, to be better, to test themselves, to move with boxing. That's how you support them. But just to support them throughout whatever they're doing, to have no complaints, to say they have the right to do nothing, but they're still great and all these. Come on, guys. You guys got to stop it. Stop it for the sport. Stop it for the love of the sport. Start becoming fans of the sport. But look, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber on here making content, creating content, sharing my little opinion that probably matters to nobody. But like Bernard Hopkins said, boxing will expose you. Or what I like to say is, boxing will humble you. You will get humbled. You'll see yourself in a way you never seen yourself before, because that sport called boxing is not a game you play. They don't play boxing. You can lose your life in there. And I think at this point, the next step for Deontay Wilder, he needs to honestly, I'll be honest with you, I think he needs to consider retiring at this point. But I know right now with the way Saudi's operating and the money that they're offering these fighters, it's quite possible we'll see Deontay in the ring again. And he can knock somebody out. If he, at least the next time you come in the ring, if you're going to come in the ring again, please leave that boxing alone. Be who you are, man. Step forward. 1-2, 1-2, 1-1-2. You know what I mean? 1-1-2. That's it. That's all we want to see you do. That's all. That's your best chance and your best opportunity at winning the fight. If you try to box again and you get in the ring with an Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury again, man, even Daniel Dubois at this point, you go in there trying to box with these guys, you're going to get memed. There's going to be a meme of you laid out. That's what I believe. But prove me wrong. Hey, either way, I'll watch it. I'll watch it and I'll be up there the next morning, just like I'm doing right now, talking about whatever those results are. Content is content. But personally, I would go to what works. But it's your boy Claymore Rain. I'm not going to stay long. I just wanted to really communicate that for the fans out there, for the casual fans out there who are making excuses, trying to say that, he was rusty. He was just off with his timing. No, man, that man tried to box. That's what the problem was. And he can't box, and he never could box. This is something we've always known. And if you guys for 1 minute thought that this man could box, it's because you guys are too much of a fan of a boxer and not a fan of boxing. If you watch boxing, you would know from a long time ago, like, wow, he has holes in his technique. He's not squeaky clean on his technique. He doesn't have sound technique. What he does is he rushes, not rush recklessly, but he presses. He has a straight jab that he used to have that was pretty clean and straight when he was with Mark Breland, and he used that to probe, find distance, and he let the right go. He let it go. And whether you blocked it or you didn't block it, the only option you had to not fall to that right hand was to get the hell up out the way. There wasn't no blocking it. There wasn't no, don't get hit with this. That's what it was. It was the equalizer. It was his one trick pony. It was the thing that he had in his pocket that he could pull out at any time and change a fight from being down 5, 6, 7 rounds, like with Luis Ortiz and fighters like that, where he was just losing the whole match, and then just boom, equalizer, made the whole rest of the match, put the whole match in perspective. Even though he was losing, that knockout made him one of the best heavyweights in the world. And on that note, it's your boy Claymore Rain. This is the ATP Combat Media Show. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I invite you to subscribe. All right. hit the bell icon so you can get the alert when we dropping that content. And on that note, we out.
They hate when you elevate. You're stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment.